Live, Baghdad. The air across Iraq crackles with a nervous energy, a mix of anticipation and disbelief. Today, on October 14, 2025, the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has finally broken its long silence. In a landmark announcement broadcast across the nation, officials confirmed that a comprehensive currency reform is imminent. This is not another rumor whispered in the bustling souks or a speculative post on a financial forum. This is a formal declaration, a plan set in motion. The announcement follows months of unprecedented economic tailwinds, including a sustained oil boom in early 2025, and a pivotal July 2025 confirmation from the IMF signaling technical support for the reform framework. The weight of this moment is palpable. For years, the Iraqi dinar, with its large denominations and cumbersome exchange rate, has been a symbol of a post-war economy struggling to find its footing. Carrying thick wads of 25,000 dinar notes for simple transactions became a daily chore. But now, the government is leveraging a period of relative strength to rewrite that narrative. The CBI's governor, speaking with a calm and measured tone, stated that the goal is to restore the dinar's prestige and simplify the financial lives of our citizens. This is a story about more than just money. It's about a nation's journey toward normalcy and economic sovereignty. The timing feels deliberate, almost strategic. The global energy markets have been favorable, with Iraqi oil exports consistently exceeding projections throughout the first half of the year. This has provided the government with a crucial cushion of foreign reserves, a war chest to back up its ambitious plans. Furthermore, the IMF's public statement in July was a critical vote of confidence. The central bank's announcement was not a single monolithic decree, but a carefully structured plan built on three core pillars. The first and most concrete of these is redenomination. The CBI has confirmed it will proceed with what is colloquially known as deleting the zeros. This involves issuing a new series of banknotes, where, for example, a new 1 dinar note or coin would replace the old 1,000 dinar note. The value of people's savings will not change. The process is purely cosmetic, designed to make transactions simpler. The government has already showcased preliminary designs for the new currency, featuring updated security features and imagery that blends Iraq's ancient heritage with modern aspirations. The second pillar, and the one generating the most fervent speculation, is a potential revaluation. While the CBI was more cautious in its language here, it confirmed that the new currency's international value would be established at a stronger, more stable rate. This is distinct from redenomination. It means that the inherent purchasing power of the dinar against foreign currencies, like the US dollar, could be increased. Officials stress this would be a carefully managed process, not a sudden dramatic jump. The goal, they explained, is to move away from the current rate, which has hovered around 1,310 dinars to the dollar, toward a rate that more accurately reflects the country's growing economic fundamentals and vast oil wealth. The third and final pillar is a sweeping exchange rate modernization. This involves dismantling the complex and often inefficient currency auction system that has been in place for years. The CBI plans to introduce a more transparent, market-driven mechanism for managing the flow of foreign currency. This reform is aimed directly at curbing black market activities and stabilizing the exchange rate over the long term. It is a direct response to long-standing issues, including the U.S. Treasury's concerns that led to the banning of several Iraqi private banks from dollar transactions in February 2025. This modernization is the foundational plumbing required to ensure the redenomination and any revaluation are sustainable and not immediately undermined by market distortions. To fully grasp the significance of today's announcement, one must look at the economic context of Iraq in 2025. The nation has arrived here on the back of several powerful trends. Most importantly, the IMF's July 2025 report showed a steadily strengthening economy. It pegged Iraq's foreign reserves at over $110 billion, a historic high. That buffer is the bedrock of reform and gives the central bank firepower to defend a new rate and manage the transition without a currency crisis. The same report noted inflation down to 4.3% versus past runaway levels. Reuters in February 2025 reported a joint crackdown by the CBI and U.S. authorities on illicit dollar transfers. That crackdown led to several Iraqi banks being barred from accessing U.S. dollars. Disruptive at first, it forced a banking sector cleanup and accelerated exchange rate reform. The official exchange rate has remained stable at approximately 1,310 IQD per USD for over a year. The parallel market rate has often shown volatility, a problem the new reforms are designed to solve permanently. Beyond the financial data, tangible signs of progress are visible across the country. Construction is booming, most notably the Development Road project. As of this month, Phase 2 of the trade corridor is well underway. It aims to connect Basra to Turkey and Europe. Understanding the difference between the key terms is crucial. They are often confused. The first, redenomination, is the simplest part of the plan. Think of it as a cosmetic change, like getting a haircut. It does not change who you are or how much you are worth. In this process, the central bank will issue new banknotes with fewer zeros. For example, if you have an old 25,000 dinar note, you might exchange it for a new 25 dinar note. Your purchasing power remains exactly the same. A loaf of bread that cost 1,000 dinars yesterday would simply cost 1 new dinar tomorrow. The primary benefit is convenience. No more carrying large stacks of cash for small purchases. Revaluation, on the other hand, is a much more profound change. This is not just a haircut, it's a fundamental change in economic value. A revaluation changes the currency's exchange rate against other world currencies. For instance, if the current rate is roughly 1,300 Iraqi dinars to $1, a revaluation might change it to, say, 1.3 dinars to $1 after a 1,000 to 1 redenomination. This would mean that each new dinar is suddenly worth significantly more on the international stage. An Iraqi citizen's savings, once converted to the new currency, would be able to buy far more imported goods, or would be worth much more when traveling abroad. Then there is the third path, a managed float or exchange rate reform. This is a hybrid approach, and the one many economists believe is most likely. Instead of a sudden dramatic revaluation, the central bank would allow the dinar's value to strengthen gradually over time. It might remove the old notes, redenominate, and then set a new, moderately stronger official rate. From there, it would use its vast foreign reserves to manage the currency's value within a certain band, allowing it to appreciate slowly as the economy grows. This approach is less risky than a massive one-off revaluation. In the hours since the central bank's announcement, the mood across Iraq has been one of cautious optimism. In Baghdad's Sharjah market, merchants who have dealt in unwieldy stacks of cash for 2 decades are hopeful but pragmatic. If this makes it easier to do business, then it is a blessing, says Ahmed, a 55-year-old textile importer. For years, my safe has been full of paper, not value. Counting millions of dinars just to pay a supplier is tiring. If 1 new dinar can do the work of 1,000 old ones, my life becomes simpler. But we have heard promises before. We will believe it when we see the new money in our hands and the prices in the market are stable. This sentiment is echoed in homes and on social media. Many younger Iraqis are sharing memes and expressing excitement about a currency that commands international respect. On a popular Baghdad Facebook group, a user posted, "Imagine traveling to Dubai or Istanbul and not having to exchange a suitcase of money. Imagine our dinar being strong like the Kuwaiti dinar." Yet, for every optimistic post, there is a skeptical comment from an elder, reminding them of past false starts and the deep-rooted challenges of corruption that could derail even the best-laid plans. This blend of hope and world-weary caution defines the public's response. Inside a modern electronics store in the Mansour district, the owner has already begun thinking about the practicalities. "We will have to update all our price tags and our accounting software," she explains. "For a while, we will probably have to list prices in both old dinars and new dinars to avoid confusion. My main concern is for the older generation, who might find the transition difficult." To get a clearer perspective on the technical feasibility of this reform, we can turn to the analysis often provided by international financial advisors. An expert with experience advising emerging markets, styled after an IMF consultant, would likely frame the situation with cautious confidence. The conditions for a successful redenomination are clearly in place, such an expert might state. Iraq's foreign reserves, now exceeding $110 billion IMF July 2025, provide an exceptionally strong anchor. This level of reserves can back the entire domestic money supply, which is critical for public confidence during an exchange. The central bank can guarantee every old dinar can be swapped for a new one without issue. The real challenge is not printing new money, it's managing its value afterward. Moving toward a modernized exchange rate is the delicate operation. Iraq should move away from its opaque currency auction system. A transparent, market-influenced mechanism reduces corruption and reduces arbitrage. But the pace of appreciation must be carefully calibrated. A sudden, large revaluation could create economic shocks and make Iraqi labor and non-oil exports uncompetitive overnight. The goal is gradual strengthening tied to productivity and diversification. The advisor would stress public communication and logistical execution. Success is measured by smoothness. Central bank and the government must launch a comprehensive, multilingual public awareness campaign reaching every corner of the country. People must know exactly when the new notes will be introduced, how the exchange will work, and for how long old notes will remain legal tender. As Iraq stands on the precipice of this historic reform, the future of its currency is not yet set in stone. Experts are outlining three primary scenarios that could unfold in the coming months. Scenario 1, a mild redenomination with managed stability. The CBI would execute the 1,000 to 1,000 deletion and establish a new exchange rate only marginally stronger than today's. Focus, simplifying commerce. Focus, building confidence in the new notes. Scenario 2, a full and rapid revaluation. The path long hoped for by speculators. A dramatically stronger dinar perhaps approaching parity with the US dollar. Immediate wealth gains for Iraqis but enormous economic risks. Local industries could be decimated by a flood of cheap imports, and it could be unsustainable if oil prices fall. Most economists and the IMF view this shock therapy as reckless and unlikely. Scenario 3, a hybrid. Redenomination followed by gradual appreciation. This matches CBI statements and IMF advice. New banknotes and a moderately stronger official rate to start. Then years of slow, guided appreciation based on performance, inflation targets, and diversification. A pragmatic middle ground allowing businesses and wages to adjust. But significant risks loom over all three scenarios. Risk 1, deep-seated corruption, manipulation for personal gain. Risk 2, policy inconsistency, a future government could reverse course. Risk 3, regional insecurity. Any major flare-up could shatter investor confidence. That would force the government to divert resources away from reform. The success of the dinar's transformation is tied to political and social stability. In closing, the 2025 Iraqi dinar reform is far more than a monetary exercise. It's a defining national project, immense potential and formidable challenges. The path chosen will have profound consequences for every citizen for decades to come. The government has the reserves. The government has the plan. The government has international backing. Now it must find the political will and institutional discipline to see it through. For the first time in decades, Iraq's currency is not just a topic of speculation. It's a symbol of reform. Whether this becomes a true financial renaissance or another missed opportunity depends on precision, discipline, and trust.